Ready. Play.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever time it is in the world, wherever you are tuning in from. I have Franklin Stoker, and I don't know if I'm saying that right. Am I, Franklin?
Good morning. Yeah, it's Franklin Stoker. That's will do it. Perfect.
There are far more difficult names to pronounce in the tennis world, that is
Yeah, I
for
think so.
sure. Yeah, including for me, Botic van der Zandschulp. Can you tell me?
Well, if you want to pronounce it in the Dutch way, it's Botic van de Zandschulp. So it's a sch. I think that's the difficult part.
One thing that I noticed is you say Botic rather than Botic.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's the more Dutch way to say it, Botic. And if you want to do it an international way, maybe you can say Botic, or Botic, but he prefers Botic. So, well, yeah. It's he even asked. He got even the question, his last name, where that came from. That was during that US Open run 2 years ago, when he got his breakthrough. But he couldn't explain it. He didn't know what Zandschulp, where that came from. What is the historical thing behind it? So, but yeah, okay. Yeah.
Where is he from, Franklin? Do you know exactly?
Yes, he's from Veenendaal. That's in the middle of the Netherlands. A small town where he grew up at the local tennis club. He was a big talent, of course, but yeah, it's not that it's just a small town where he still is around. He likes to be there at the local tennis camp. Sometimes he's showing his face there, and that's quite it. It's not that he's from the big city or from Amsterdam, Rotterdam, or things like that.
Franklin, tell me some things about you. Tell me who you are.
I'm Franklin, and I'm now sticking around in journalism for around, I would say, 12, 13 years. I started doing some things in football, writing about it, especially that, but tennis has always been my how do you say it, natural habit. Or it was just, for me, it's easy to follow, and I'm following that now in a professional way also about 10 years or so, a little bit longer. At first I did some freelance work, also traveled at the tennis tour it was 2011, visit some slams and also some tournaments in Madrid I've been to, and also Estoril, the smaller tournament. That was my first introduction into the international tennis world, and to get a good feeling how things worked, and but now I'm already a little bit further, and it's I really like it, and I really love it to doing what I'm doing now.
Where does tennis rank in the Netherlands? Like, is it? I mean, we've obviously know football is number one, I guess. And how popular is tennis? I mean, I remember Richard Krajicek in the early '90s, or I think it was early '90s when he won Wimbledon. I mean, where is tennis in the Netherlands right now?
Well, you have to see it. Football, cycling, speed skating. Those are the sports which are really famous in the Netherlands, and also which get the most attention. What you are seeing now, like tennis, is maybe the fifth, sixth sport in the country, but with the rise of Van de Zandschulp and also Griekspoor, you see the interest is now going, is rising. Of course, we had Kiki Bertens a couple of years ago, and also with her achievements, you also saw that the popularity of tennis quickly rose. So it all has most of the time it just has to do with if players doing well international at the highest level, especially at the Grand Slams, then the attention is getting higher and higher, and especially at the Grand Slams. Here in the Netherlands, if, for example, Kiki won Madrid a couple of years ago, I think it was 2019 against Kvitova in the finals, which was a big achievement. But here in the Netherlands, the average reaction was like, okay, well, she won the tournament, good for her, but it's not that it made big headlines, to say that. So maybe if gives you a little explanation inside how it works in the Netherlands regarding tennis.
Let's start with the immediate for Botic, and I'm talking about the coaching change. That's where I sort of actually first came across you just a few days ago. I saw you tweeting about this. He has now got Sven Grunewald, and I'm probably mispronouncing that too. Of course, and Sven was associated with Maria Sharapova, Monica Seles, and Roger Federer, among others. Tell us about this coaching change, if you like, in Botic's situation.
Well, just to pronounce it this way, it was almost like a gift from heaven for Botic, because he was really looking for some stability in his coaching. With his coaching, because he split with his former coach Peter Lucassen. That was in February. They worked almost 1 year and a half together, and it just didn't work out anymore. So he was looking for some stability. So
when did they split? Did they split like a few weeks ago, or
no? I think Peter and Botic, they split. I think it was around February.
Okay.
It was around the Rotterdam tournament. There things were already, how do you say, boiling between boiling, but they couldn't. The things didn't go well anymore, and I think after Rotterdam they decided to split. So Botic got some help from the Dutch Tennis Association with the coach, and also Paul Harhuis, the Davis Cup captain, was there for 1 or 2 weeks to help him. But in a situation where Botic is like he's a top 30 player, so you need to act soon to get your things straight again, because he's in an important phase of his career, of course. So actually, I was a little bit surprised that he started to work with Groeneveld, because Groeneveld was more in the how do you say it? Was most of the time working with female players, like Andreescu, but he also got, of course, a stint with Tara Daniel, and also with a Chinese player, Wu Yibing. So, but he was not in that circle of the ATP players, top 50 ATP players, if I can say it that way. And so it was, everybody didn't mention his name like he could be the man for Botic. So it was a little bit surprised. But what makes Groeneveld, I think, really a good coach at this moment for Botic is that Groeneveld is really an easygoing person, but straight. Also, you already mentioned has a lot of experience. But he's also a point of rest. If you just look at the man, he has that charisma, which gives players some kind of that just feel comfortable. And we also spoke with Esther Vergeer 2 days ago.
Okay.
She also worked with Groeneveld, and she also said that he's really a a person. Of course, he can work on your technique, but he's also a good person, a good coach for the mental side, and that's the mental side. That's something Botic really, I think the biggest thing where he now needs to work on, because we all see that he has a big game, he has a good serve, he has good volleys, he's a good mover, but the mental part of his game aspect, that's something which he can improve, I think, and I think Groeneveld's really the guy for that part. So yeah,
Have you spoken, Franklin? Have you spoken to Botic recently? By the way.
No, not yet. I tried to approach him, but they were just busy. But he gave an interview to the Dutch colleagues of Ziggo Sport, which they are on site in Rome, and there, he's really happy with to have Groeneveld now on his side. He called him a couple of weeks ago, and they had a few conversations about working together. And the funny thing about this is, and then you see how things can go, and you sometimes have to be a little bit you have to be lucky, because Groeneveld was working with Linda Fruhvirtova in Miami and Indian Wells. They had a trial, and after those couple of weeks, they decided not to go further. So, but what if Groeneveld and Fruhvirtova were working together? Then he wasn't available. So it's and all of a sudden Botic came around. Now he's occupied. So that's also how things can work and go in a way. So,
indeed. It was interesting you mentioned the mental side of the game. We know how big that is, of course, at the top. He had a really bruising, difficult defeat recently to Holger Rune, including, break advantages in the deciding set. He also had 4 championship points, I believe, against Holger in Munich. That seemed like a really tough defeat. What's your thoughts, Franklin?
Yeah, it was a really tough defeat. There were 2 camps after that match. There was some kind of a camp. If we're feeling the reactions, like he's giving it away again. But there was also a side, and I'm also on that side. Like these moments when you are having championship point, you're going almost win to your first ATP title. It's almost the biggest achievement in your career so far, and that's something in which you are working to when you are becoming a tennis pro. So I'm a tennis player myself, of course, on a very low amateur level, but you can imagine what kind of what it is doing to your mind when you're feeling you're almost at the finish. And but he has now got that experience. He has also got that experience of reaching the final of an ATP tournament now 2 times, and I'm convinced, and a lot of people has that he is going to win an ATP title. I mean, he has the game for it. But it's sometimes you just have to have that push that things are going to fall your way. And again, I think with Groeneveld now on his side, it's going. He's the man that I think. It should happen at some point.
Botic and Alejandro Davidovich Fokina, and now, of course, Jan-Lennard Struff. These are 3 players, slightly different ages. Botic is obviously younger than Jan-Lennard. Jan-Lennard is 33. But I do worry. I mean, I agree with you. I think Botic will almost certainly win a title at some point. But take Jan-Lennard, after seeing him up close on Sunday after that loss, it was tough because obviously it was a close match. Botic, of course, having championship points. And you do, like Jan-Lennard in particular at 33, I do worry that might be it. You know, okay, it was a Masters 1000. It wasn't a 250 or a 500, but with you just never know. And you know, it could be Ons Jabeur on the Grand Slam side. On the women's side, we've seen Nishikori as well in the past in terms of Grand Slams and Songa. And you think, oh, it'll be, you know, you always get the speeches afterwards, and it could be nice.
With his streak with
right now
losing
Felix. Yeah, but although he's broken his duck.
Yeah, of course, but it was a long,
in Rotterdam, I believe, as well. Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, what a beautiful story that would be if Botic could get his first ATP title in Rotterdam.
Yeah, it suits his game. I would say the hard courts. So, but the marriage between Rotterdam and Botic is not that special so far. But
is that a pressure thing too? Is it? Do you think? How does he feel about playing at home?
He doesn't have that special relation so far with Rotterdam, concerning the achievements he's got so far. But it also has to do with I think the mental side of it. If he arrives in form in Rotterdam at a certain point, things are falling his way, then of course he has it in his game to reach the final there as well. But of course, Rotterdam is always a strong tournament. Of course, if you see the past winners, of course we had Medvedev now with the most recent winner. They played each other, Van der Zandschulp and Medvedev it was I think in the second round, yes. And that was just a one-sided match for Medvedev, and then that's also where you see the things where Botic also how far he is, I think, in his career so far. If you're looking at the opponents, like he's playing Djokovic last year, he's playing Nadal at Roland Garros and
twice.
Wimbledon
He played at Wimbledon as well.
Yeah. But you see, there's still a big gap in terms of not in terms of the how he hits the ball, but more of his mindset that is convinced that he can also beat those guys. While if he's going to play against, for example, Auger-Aliassime, Cameron Norrie, Taylor Fritz, he knows he can beat those guys, but they are also have been or are top 10, you know. So that's also something that's for him the next step, that he's convinced he also maybe can beat guys from the top 5. You know, that's also something.
I spoke to Botic at a press conference after that defeat to Rafa Nadal. It was quite fresh, if you like. It was just 20 minutes before. It was a pretty close match. I think it was 4 sets, and one of the decider was a tiebreaker, so could easily have gone to a 5th. And I don't know. I think I got the impression that he felt okay. He'd played him on clay just a few weeks before and probably had no answer at Roland Garros. But here he was certainly very competitive against the second or third best player in the world on grass, possibly. I mean, certainly a contender for the title until he got injured. So there was probably not too many regrets. But you seem to me, at least to the casual observer, to be playing a bit more aggressively today, especially on the second serve, it seemed at times. Was that a tactic of yours? Was it a thought that this is the way that I can give myself a chance of beating Rafa?
Yeah, I think when you play too defensive against him, it's I think he moves you around and it's tough to play him. So yeah, try to be a little bit more aggressive on the second serve. Some games it worked and some games it didn't.
Yeah, of course, unforced error and a few more double faults than you would have wanted. Here's a reminder to hit the like button, subscribe, and click that notification bell. Your support helps to keep the channel going. While we're here, you can now become a member to enjoy perks, including badges for the live chat, but also bonus material, such as interviews with top players from both ATP and WTA tours. The membership link is pinned in the live chat. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. So whether it be serves or volleys, forehands or backhands, serve bots or drop shots, we've got you covered, whether that be via our website, talking-tennis.com, where you can read features and interviews from our top writers. Or if you prefer us in audio form, you can subscribe to our podcast on Apple, Amazon, or Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts from. Remember, we offer you wall-to-wall coverage via our regular watch-alongs, magazine shows such as Nick's WTA Weekly or Damien and Mario's ATP version. Plus, we deliver top content from people on the ground, actually at the tournaments, so you get even nearer to the action. So, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on all things tennis. As you say, this is where we're at with Botic. I do have a question as well, though. You mentioned, of course, that about that US Open run on a hard court.
Yeah.
Really, though, before he's now 27, and I think that was in 2021, if I'm right. What we had 5. So we've got Carlos Alcaraz, of course, we've seen since the age of 18. We remember Boris Becker at the age of 17. We saw Rafa at 19. Now, I know these are legend or potential legends of the sport, but, we saw Tsitsipas at a young age. And yet occasionally we do have a guy, whether it be Jan-Lennard Struff at 33 or Botic when he was 25, just sort of, okay, this guy is a contender. And since 2021, he's been in third rounds, fourth rounds, and so on and so forth at the major tournaments. Did it come as a surprise to you and other members of the Dutch media, or was it kind of like, we're waiting for this guy?
Well, it was before his US Open run. Let's say before 2021. He was always hanging around Botic in the futures and the challengers, and all of a sudden, slowly, he qualified for the Grand Slams. It started in Australia, and then it's just, I think, a matter of just getting more self-confidence. It's maybe a very easy way to say it, but he just got the feeling, hey, I'm now among these guys, I can do it, and of course, what I already mentioned, he has the game to hurt almost every player if he wants, and so also regarding, if you're looking at that, it's really with his game, he it's almost that's also why he got so fast. All of a sudden now became a top 100 player.
He's playing Les Logère, I think, tomorrow in Rome. What do you think in terms of this change on the coaching situation, but also his future? What do you think in terms of his game, aside from the mental side that I know you touched on? What other parts of his game do you think he might need to improve with Groeneveld to help him take that step towards a title?
A good question, because also his serve, in potential, he has a big serve, but I think it's almost a year now that he's when he's under pressure in a match, then he's starting also to struggle with the serve, especially his second serve. Sometimes he has this phase in a match when he is, there are coming more and more double faults, and he's aware of that, and he already last year tried to change his second serve a little bit with the motion and things like that, but it's I think it's still not there where it should be, because also he's pretty tall, and he can make more of it. He also has a good kick serve, especially on clay, so he could also take more advantage of that. But especially under pressure, maybe on hard courts, on grass, his serve is really something that's where there's space for improvement.
And it's hard court where you would probably expect that title to come? Although, of course, we had a clay court tournament in Munich where he got to the final.
Well, difficult to say, to be honest. I think because he is like all Dutch players. We grew up at clay courts, so he also liked to play on clay courts because that's also the funny side of the game of Botic. He also can. Most of people see him as an attacking player, which I can understand because of his powerful strokes. But he also has it in his to defend, like to stand 4 meters behind the baseline and just slicing, playing top spin, and just keep the ball in play. So what I mean to say is, he also, it also could be on Clay that he also grabbed his first title, which of what you were mentioning, he didn't. He did also reach the final in Munich 2 times. So, but
I think that week he got to Munich. Was that the same week? That was the same week as Barcelona. Because fortunately, I've been traveling as well, and I was in Estoril. And you said was Estoril one of your first tournaments as a journalist?
My first was actually started quite big. It was Indian Wells.
Oh, that's not a bad one.
Yeah, it was, when you are quite new to the environment, then all of a sudden, because have you been to Indian Wells?
No, I haven't. No.
Okay, because then you had the situation. Then you also could, just you have a shared dining area, things like that. So when you're starting a journey and you all of a sudden sit on the same table like it was Del Potro at that moment. It's not done to be how do you say it, overwhelmed, especially when you're a young guy who's starting his journey. But it's something you have to experience, and it was nice to have that experience.
Franklin, big thank you to you for joining us today, and fingers crossed for Botic and his fans, both in the Netherlands and elsewhere, that he can make that breakthrough and finally get a tournament.
Yeah, anytime. It was nice. Thanks for having me.
Take care, Franklin. Have a good day.
Yeah, cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.